In this podcast episode, Mel Robbins engages in a powerful conversation with Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, one of the greatest female athletes in world history and an Olympic gold medalist. The discussion delves deep into the mindset, visualization, resilience, and intentional consistency that have fueled Shelly-Ann's extraordinary career. She shares inspiring personal stories about overcoming self-doubt, societal expectations, failure, motherhood, and pressure, all while advocating for the importance of deciding on one's path and refusing to settle for average. Shelly-Ann emphasizes that the foundation of any transformation begins with a single, decisive commitment to move from average to excellence. Growing up in a challenging environment in Kingston, Jamaica, she learned that dreaming often feels like a luxury, but deciding to pursue those dreams is essential. She encourages listeners to stop asking for permission from others and instead focus on their own voice, cultivating an unshakable internal narrative rooted in positivity and self-belief. According to her, deciding who you want to be and consistently reaffirming that daily builds the mindset needed to achieve greatness. Despite her public successes, Shelly-Ann reveals the internal battles with fear, doubt, injury, and sacrifice that happen away from the limelight. The mental struggle to overcome limiting beliefs, such as being too old, too young, or not good enough, is part of the champion's journey. She shares how difficult it was for her to still dream in an environment stifled by hardships, and how motivation from family and a sense of purpose helped her keep putting one foot in front of the other. This candid glimpse into her behind-the-scenes challenges highlights the resilience required to stand confidently on the global stage. Mel and Shelly-Ann discuss the importance of setting personal standards and taking consistent, intentional small steps toward excellence. For those feeling lost or uncertain about their own standards, Shelly-Ann recommends starting with manageable habits such as waking up early or practicing visualization daily. Building momentum through routine leads to consistency, which she defines as the key to achieving excellence. Standards, she explains, do not fluctuate like motivation. Standards are a non-negotiable foundation for long-term success. Shelly-Ann shares a refreshing perspective on failure, describing it as an essential part of success rather than its opposite. Losing teaches lessons that winning never can. It reveals what needs improvement, sparks new strategies, and cultivates humility. Through her own experiences, including injuries and setbacks, like fracturing a bone essential for sprinting, she learned to adapt and press on with creative solutions. Failure became a turning point that informed her future training and ultimately led to some of her greatest victories. Visualization is a fundamental tool in Shelly-Ann's training process, especially practiced on Fridays as mental training. The technique involves vividly imagining every detail of the race or challenge ahead, sights, sounds, feelings, well before the physical event. She believes the mind cannot reliably distinguish between visualized success and reality, making visualization akin to mental rehearsal that prepares the body and psyche for peak performance. Applying this concept beyond athletics, she suggests listeners use visualization for any daunting scenarios, such as difficult conversations or career goals, as it creates a mental roadmap to success at no financial cost. A pivotal moment in Shelly-Ann's career came when she stopped fearing responsibility and embraced owning her outcomes completely. From initially wanting to avoid the pressure of running in a relay, she grew to desire sole accountability for wins and losses. This mental shift gave her power and confidence, fueling a determination to control her narrative and refuse defeat. She underscores the idea that you must refuse to lose, not just on the track, but in all areas of life, to build an unbreakable champion's mindset. Shelly-Ann breaks barriers as one of the very few women to return to world champion form after becoming a mother. Her story challenges pervasive cultural beliefs that motherhood ends elite athletic careers, demonstrating instead that motherhood elevated her purpose. She speaks poignantly about giving her son the example of chasing dreams relentlessly and refusing to accept limits imposed by society. Her 2019 World Championship gold medal, won 2 years after becoming a mom, stands as a testament to what women can achieve despite societal pressures and expectations. Common perceptions about age and athletic performance are dismantled as Shelly-Ann explains that success at the starting line depends solely on preparation and mindset, not age. At 35, an age considered old in track by many, she won the 2022 World Championship, proving longevity and excellence can coexist. Focusing on work ethic, visualization, and mental focus allowed her to ignore external doubts and the echoes of commentators, instead trusting in her readiness and experience to perform at her best. Pressure, Shelly-Ann teaches, should be reinterpreted as a privilege, indicating that you have been entrusted with something important, whether by others or yourself. She notes a Jamaican saying, "Nobody stones green mangoes," meaning pressure only comes when you are ripe and ready. Pressure becomes overwhelming when you live simultaneously in the past and future, but success lies in focusing fully on the present moment. Intentional breathing, centering oneself, and reconnecting with why you started help channel pressure into fuel, transforming it from a barrier to a propellant. While motivation naturally fluctuates, Shelly-Ann stresses that unwavering standards provide stability and longevity. On days when motivation wanes, the internal standard of excellence compels action regardless of feelings. Achieving greatness requires discipline, repeated effort, and moving from fear to boldness. Drawing from her career, she explains that while external motivators may disappear or change, holding firm to personal standards sustains performance and success over time. Using the metaphor of the race, the episode explores how life's pursuits continue until actively completed or abandoned. Shelly-Ann shares that losing a race is not an endpoint, but an opportunity to learn and re-strategize for the next attempt. Champions don't quit after failure. They analyze, adjust, and return stronger. This philosophy applies universally. Success is a series of races, and each new day offers a fresh chance to show up fully and compete for what matters. As a resounding call to listeners, Shelly-Ann insists that the only dream that remains unattained is the one never started. She encourages abandoning doubts fueled by others' limited imaginations and stepping fully into the power of self-belief. Deciding to act, refusing to play small, and committing wholeheartedly are non-negotiable. She invites listeners to give themselves permission to pursue extraordinary things and to believe in their unique potential with the same fervor she believes in them. Throughout the conversation, the emphasis returns to the idea that everyone is born for more than mediocrity. Shelly-Ann's life and career model how deciding to reject average and embracing one's extraordinary gifts transforms not just the individual, but an entire community. She urges listeners to mold their own plans with intention and courage, to expand their minds and territories, chase excellence, and recognize that within each person lies vast untapped potential waiting to be realized.